The hell did you and I become the mom and dad figures of this whole company, you know?
I haven't still figured that out. I haven't figured that out yet.
I mean, I've called you mom a lot of times, but you haven't called me daddy. What the hell?
The Responsibly Rowdy Podcast.
All right, guys, Stephen Callahan here, and we are live in Bristol, Tennessee, and we're shooting our very own first podcast called the Responsibly Rowdy Podcast. We're so excited to have you guys on board with us today. I've got a very special guest. My wife, Jessica, is actually here on the couch with me. Say hello to Jessica.
Hey, hey.
All right, and we got a few good topics to cover. Number one is the chaos that happens, and basically what were some of the disasters and some of the victories that we had to deal with, not only now, but like let's roll it back a couple of years. Like what was, when we first got the salt house, when we bought the salt house in 2013, what would you say were some of the biggest hurdles we had to overcome?
I would say getting open, just in general. Like, you were a perfectionist and didn't want to open until we had the perfect product, which is good.
Yeah.
But there came a point where you just had to do it.
Yeah, well, we had to do it because the bank was, they were calling us and said, "Hey, where's our money?" And we weren't making any money at the time, but we were very true to the fact that we weren't going to open unless the things were perfect. And number one, I think that we did right was the branding, right? So we started out, what was the name of Tennessee Hills? You actually are credited for naming Tennessee Hills, right?
Thank you.
Can you elaborate on that story a little bit for me?
Yeah, we were actually sitting at home on the couch, going through all kinds of names, trying to pick the perfect name. I remember you were dead set on wanting to call it Roaring Creek.
Roaring Creek,
which is where you grew up.
Yeah, it's the road I grew up on. Yeah.
And then I was just reading through a bunch of history and came across the words Tennessee Hills, and asked you what you thought about that. And
I looked at you and I said, "Hell yeah, that's it. Check the box. We're moving forward with it." Right? And so the next thing that came along was the logo. Mm-hmm. And that was a journey within itself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we went to tattoo artists. We went to local artists. We went to some good friends of ours that had some good artistic abilities and that kind of thing. And the number one thing that we really wanted to tie into was the Callahan family crest.
Yep, for sure.
And the number one factor that had to be included in our logo was what?
Dog and tree, but definitely the dog.
Definitely the dog. So Jack was my dog, and, he lived to be, how old was he?
I say 16, 17, you say 18, 19.
We live fast forward around here, but you're probably right more right on that front of things. But so Jack was very important to us, and Jack was my best friend and companion, and he's kind of what you and him are kind of what held my brain together as we were getting the doors open. And so thank you both for that. And unfortunately, Jack's no longer with us, but he is throughout our whole entire facility and across all of our facilities as well. So the other thing with that is the salt house. So we bought the salt house in 2013 or so. Mm-hmm. And so
dirt floors.
Yeah, dirt floors. Jessica and I were driving home from Eastman Chemical Company. Shout out to Eastman, right? Out of 10,000 people, Jessica and I dated since we were 15 years old. Right?
Yep.
Got that right? All right. Kudos to me. Dated since we were 15. And then, I graduated high school. You were a year behind me. And then I went to Emory Henry University.
College at the time.
College at the time. But, and then, after that, you followed me up there to Emory. And, we went to college. We graduated college of biology and chemistry, and then we went to work at Eastman. And so one day we were driving back home down where we lived in an old farmhouse down by the Nolechucky River, and we found the salt house. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It's 190-year-old building, like I said, when we got it, it was dirt floors. It had sat empty for about 20 years. It was an old antique store, and so it had all the partitions and everything still in it. So then we went on the journey of remodeling the building.
Yeah, so it took a lot of work for us to get going. We left our job at Eastman. I actually left my job before you did, right?
You did, about a year before.
Yeah, and so basically, tell us the story, when we're talking about some of the chaos, some of the things we had to overcome that I feel like our listeners want to hear about. We ran out of money, right? We were 25 years old at the time.
Yep.
Ran out of money. I think the first loan we got was like, $20,000 or something like that.
Something like that.
The bank thought we were crazy. And then ran out of money really quick because we were, we did a lease purchase option on that building. And so after a couple of years, I actually started going out of town and hanging still with my good friend David Hess. I'd like to give a good shout out to David Hess at Seabiscuit Metal Designs. David actually took me on, and so I was going out of town and working in Pennsylvania.
You were.
So I would be 7 days on, 7 days off, and I'd come home and spend time with you, but mostly make liquor. And while you ran the show, and then during that time frame, how long did it take you to actually come on full time with us?
About a year, I think, after you left Eastman, I did.
Yeah, so about a year. So you were the breadwinner for a while, right?
That's all right. It allowed us to buy a house in Jonesboro, just like a mile away from the distillery, so it all worked out.
Yeah, kudos to you. Thank you, baby. I love you. All right. And so the history of the salt house, essentially it was built in 1840. It was there before the train tracks came through, which I think was about 1859 or so. And then basically, during that time frame, there was a Civil War going on. And the claim to fame to the building becoming known as the Salt House was basically there was a time frame there where the train actually came into town and unloaded the salt due to the close proximity to the tracks. And so they would unload the train, and then that's when they installed the elevator.
That's what I was just thinking about bringing up.
Yeah, that hand-operated elevator with a 180-some-odd-year-old hemp rope,
Yes.
which we actually operated. Without that elevator, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did in that building, right? So
Yeah.
we got really good at utilizing space efficiently. Right?
For sure.
And so throughout our time when we first got open, essentially it was just me and you. So you were running the bar, I was running the bar, you were batching, I was batching. I was running the still, you were hand bottling.
One bottle at a time.
One bottle at a time. How many bottles do you think we were actually doing a day at that time?
Several hundred.
Several hundred?
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. And it's one bottle at a time. Click, fill, pass,
Yep.
click, fill, pass. And thank goodness we had a lot of really good friends to get us.
Very good friends.
Yeah, a lot of really good friends, and they believed in what we were doing, and that's one of the shining lights that came out of our early days. Is we had a really great support group, and they bought into the vision that we had as a brand, and so, but it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we had to officially pay all those people that were helping, we wouldn't have been able to make it. But hey, we paid them in booze.
Yeah, we paid
right?
them in booze. So the barter system was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so why did we keep going throughout all of this? That's the big question that we get asked quite a bit. Is, hey man, you guys you almost lost everything, and you're just a bunch of very young 20-somethings, and you didn't know what you were doing from the outside looking in, but we did. And but if you had to really look back on it, we were pretty bought in. Why do you think that was?
I think that you are a very passionate person, and me being the supportive person that I am, your dream became my dream, and I think we just really enjoyed, doing what we were doing. Not only, like the easy times, because then nothing was really too easy, but, the hard times we were able to work together and, figure it out and make it through.
Well, that's really cool for you to say, but I think the magic glue that always kept us together was 100% you, and I love you so much for doing that, and thank you for having my back. I know I've got us in some deep trenches throughout the year, and hard. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you have to be the hardest working person in the room. And I think you and I collectively have done a really good job of doing that, and we take a lot of pride in that, don't we?
For sure.
Yeah. So, basically, we had a dream, and we were able to propagate that dream. So, fast forward a couple years, right? We get open. One thing I want to talk about, and this is funny. You remember the very first storytelling festival we ever had in Jonesboro?
Yes.
What did we do?
That was the hurricane, correct?
The hurricane, and you guys are going to love this. I can't wait for you to hear about it. But so
pretty much there was a hurricane coming through the area. Well, not our area, of course, like Florida.
Yeah.
And so that was forcing a lot of people to evacuate up towards our region.
Yeah.
And you had actually decided that you were going to go drum up some business. So you took off downtown with some poker chips and giving them out, telling people, come up for a free tasting. It wasn't even 5 minutes after you left that someone came in and said to me, I heard you're having a hurricane party. And I just kind of looked at him and I'm like, a hurricane party? And I'm like, where'd you hear that from? And they're like, oh, yeah, some guy was downtown handing out, telling people to come up here and that we were having a hurricane party. I was like, well, that's my husband. So if you heard it from him, I guess we're having a hurricane party tonight.
Well, we, the thing about our very first storytelling center, our festival was, we had we had spent all of our resources, putting things on shelves, merchandise and that kind of thing. And then we also had a lot of people, we had stuffed sheeps.
We did have
stuffed sheep and
pottery
and nothing to do with distilling and brewing and that kind of thing. We just needed to fill the shelves up so that we could sell some things, right? And so we were fully invested. And so when this hurricane came through, I was like, shit, we're about to lose it all. And it was going to rain, and we wasn't going to get anybody up the hill, and but about halfway down Main Street, I decided, hell, we're going to have a hurricane party. Come on up, guys. Come on up. And so, but we met a band.
You met a band on the street.
I met a band on the street. They're from Australia. You remember their name?
Heart Collectors.
Heart Collectors. And they said, hey, man, we were on tour, and, Jonesboro wouldn't let them set up on the sidewalk to play. And they were just trying to mostly entertain themselves, And so I said, hey, we're having a hurricane party. Come up to the hill. It's going to be banging, And so these guys showed up about an hour later, and they were like in a tour bus or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so they start rolling out all this, sound equipment and that kind of thing. And I thought, oh shit, they got
the big
basses, and all that, and so we turned a really adverse situation into something really beautiful, because the moment that band started playing, we opened up all the doors. And they were telling the ghost stories and all that downtown, and which we got in a little trouble about. But immediately as soon as they started playing, what happened?
The place filled up. There was nowhere, people up the steps listening. There was people everywhere, and that band they sounded amazing.
They were absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And that moment, I started to really realize, you know what? I think we're doing this for a reason, and I think, the stars are kind of aligned. They're in our favor a little bit, and it was just a magical night for us, and that was one of the things that really kind of gave me the energy to keep pushing forward with this. So, but anyway, when we're talking about some of the things we've done over the years, we want to talk about economic development, right? So we about 2021, when did we buy the brewery?
It was during COVID, so I think we bought it in 2020 and we got it open 2021, somewhere in there. It might have been very beginning of 2021.
Yeah, so that gave us a really good opportunity to, kind of test the firepower of Tennessee Hills.
Yep.
And so how good is our brand? How good are we running businesses? How scalable is the brand Tennessee Hills? Are we able to hire and fire? And more importantly, like we got into a whole new realm of products. So we got into beer.
Yes.
Which is where Danny Smith, our master brewer, came into the picture, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so Danny, I like to say Danny came with the furniture.
We do like to say that. Yes.
So we locked into the Johnson City location. Not a lot of people buy breweries during COVID.
No, I don't think anybody was buying anything during COVID.
I think our bank thought we were absolutely insane. And anyway, we got into to beer, and we upfitted the location there on Walnut Street in Johnson City, and out of that evolved something really special. We noticed how close we were to ETSU.
Yes.
And so we decided, hey man, this is a perfect opportunity to create this collaboration between Tennessee Hills and East Tennessee State University, and out of that came what?
The Brewing and Distillation
Minors program,
yes,
which was fantastic. That was the only meeting I've ever been in, maybe in my entire life, where I was looking around the table, especially with folks in academia. You know how they like to ponder on things. They're not decision makers. We got to talk to somebody, about something. And so that was the only meeting that I can actually remember to where we actually could make a decision. And out of that, literally the next day, we started building the East Tennessee State Brewing, Fermentation, Distillation Sciences program. And so that was our ability to really keep putting roots down into this area, which is something that you and I truly believe in. We're both from here. My family has been here for a very long time. I know you've been here for quite a while, but we haven't run your genealogy.
Definitely not as far deep as you go in this area.
But anyway, so I'm going to reframe the question there a little bit. How is Tennessee Hills an engine for economic development? Really, I mean, when you have so many people, behind a brand, they're willing to support your brand. You're able to open new locations, and then with that, you start hiring people. And so hiring people, in my mind, that is probably one of the most satisfying things that you and I get to do together. It's not about Stephen and Jessica Callahan. It's about the people that we get to impact on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yes. I think one of the best things, people ask, what's the best thing that's come, like you personally, out of Tennessee Hills? And I think it's honestly, like some of our employees who have been here the longest. I'm going to just use Lauren, for example. She's worked for us since she was 17. Being able to see her grow into the person that she is today, and knowing that we maybe had a little bit to do with that, it's just the most rewarding thing, at least for me, that's come out of this business. So the people that we hire is definitely the most rewarding thing out of the business, for
100%, 100%. And I couldn't agree with you more. We have so many fantastic people, and they're all going to have the opportunity to be in this seat.
Can't wait.
That you're sitting in, and I can't wait to get them on. But hear their stories too, man. Like, how do you, we got people that have kids. We have people that are going through some things right now that are very life changing, possibly. And to be able to kind of be that security blanket and just kind of, how the hell did you and I become the mom and dad figures of this whole company?
I haven't still figured that out. I haven't figured that out yet.
I mean, I've called you mom a lot of times, but you haven't called me daddy. What the hell? So, but anyway, I think we're in a really unique situation right now to where we can use our brand to really help ignite Northeast Tennessee in a way that it's really hard for other brands to do. So, for instance, we bought Watauga Lake Winery. And everybody's like, why the hell did you buy Watauga Lake Winery? And I was like, well, because everybody else is looking at Gallenberg. We're like staying here. We're growing those roots, which everybody's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, I fucking know, like, we believe in what we're doing. My name is Stephen Earl, and it's on Copperhead Road. They wrote a whole damn song about it. So, but anyway, I'm going to make it personal real quick here. We're not just whiskey. We're proving something about where we're from. And it's really ties into the true grit that comes along with, the generational heritage that I have and I'm very proud of. And, the brand that basically, stands for something, and, it represents the people and the culture of Appalachia. And that's something that I'm very proud of. So, I'm going to throw in a little bit of curveball here, guys. Are you ready for that? So, launching a podcast about whiskey when you've never done a podcast before.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
Well, I feel good about it. I feel really good about it. I'd like to thank a couple really good friends of mine that really talked me into it before. I'd like to give a shout out to my guys down at 101.5 Classic Rock, Buzz and Budweiser. You know who you are out there. I spent a few days with those guys in the studio, and I thought, man, this is cool as hell. I want to get into this. I have a face for radio, but here these cameras are, so the math's not adding up. But I hope you guys are enjoying it anyway. So, but I really wanted to, I feel like a lot of whiskey brands are pretty pretentious, right? And so this is kind of getting into the rawness of the conversation. Jessica, when some of the folks that we know, not necessarily in Tennessee, but, starts with a KY or somewhere like that. But, they're pretty pretentious. They're like whiskey snobs, and they don't understand it. They're 200-year-old brands, and they don't know what it takes to get to where we're at right now, you and I together. And so, my goal is to really kind of give our viewers and our listeners, a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of end of the day and day life of, not only what we deal with here on the manufacturing side and as business owners, but, really what you and I have to deal with personally. And so, we've given up a lot. How many years have we been doing this now?
Well, since 2014 is when we got our permit.
Yeah, 2014, but then we started working on the place in 2013, and it's a lot, man. We don't have kids, yet. I'm not going to say never, but yet. But somebody's going to have to do your job. But but also, we got to really shine a positive spotlight on Tennessee whiskey as a whole. And I feel like, it's been done very well in Kentucky. There's all kinds of economic impact studies out there that I won't bring the numbers up right now. There's plenty of websites you can go to. But the economic impact of Tennessee whiskey right now is only probably about a third of what Kentucky's is. And to be kind of the origin of whiskey when it first came over to America, and then we kind of passed that off to Kentucky when we had the 100-year hiatus of prohibition outside of 2 counties here in Tennessee. You got to be, if you're going to be one thing, you got to be, in some politicians' pockets or something, because those guys definitely got it right. But anyway, so I'm really looking forward to speaking to you guys about the day in and day out. So is it rowdy or responsible? That's the segment that we're going to go into.
Yeah, so I think this is what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yeah,
if
okay.
things that you have done is responsible or rowdy. So.
Oh God. We don't have a video to play or anything, right?
You never know.
Oh.
So when I've heard, I wasn't there to witness it, but I've heard that you have rode on top of a Hummer before. Do you think that was responsible or rowdy?
That was what time of night was it?
I wasn't there, so probably after midnight.
Well, if it was after midnight and I was on top of a Hummer, it was probably pretty rowdy, if I had to guess.
I would think so too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more for you.
One more.
Yeah. I was there to witness this, so. Have you, or I guess I should say, was it responsible or rowdy when you definitely jumped out of your Jeep on a snowy mountain and decided to ski behind your Jeep?
That was definitely rowdy. That was definitely rowdy.
I
for
agree
sure.
with that. Agree with that.
Yeah. Give me one more. Like, can I have like a responsible one, man? I mean, this is our first time out. Like you can't make me look all rowdy.
Okay.
Even though I'm.
Have you took people's keys from our house and forced them to stay at our house when they drank too much?
I absolutely have. Yeah.
And that was definitely responsible.
Well, they had nice cars, very responsible. They had nice cars. I didn't want them to mess the cars up too much, but that was responsible, But, we've been in the game long enough and we know when to call it quits. And, we don't want to see anybody get hurt. And so, but anyway, guys, so I want to hit you with a little bit of a teaser here. I've got about 3 to 4 minutes on this segment. There's a lot of really good upcoming events here, coming here or throughout, our entire business. But should we go to a commercial real quick, guys?
This episode of the Responsibly Rowdy Podcast is brought to you by Bowman Jewelers. Go to bowmanjewelers.com, use promo code ROWDY for 15% off your next engagement ring purchase.
Your wife's going to kill you.
She probably will, but that would be a better fate.
Use code ROWDY.
Disclaimer, this is not a real promo code. Pure joke material. For Cody's marital safety, please don't call or ask about it.
All right, we're back with the Responsibly Rowdy Podcast. We have a couple things to talk about, Jessica. We call it the tease. What do we have? What do we have coming down the pipe for us here in the next couple of days?
The first thing would be our collaboration that we have done with Goo Goo Cluster.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Why do our tagline is a true taste of Tennessee, right? And to be able to partner with a legendary Tennessee brand founded in 1912 out of Nashville, Tennessee, the first combination candy bar ever made in history. What a cool opportunity we have. And so that's coming out here in a couple weeks, hopefully, before the Christmas season. We might miss it a little bit before Thanksgiving. The other thing is something I'm really excited about, which is a partnership with my really good friend, Mitch Walters. Shout out to Mitch Walters here in Bristol, Tennessee. We have an Indian motorcycle being built, right?
I don't know, maybe.
So we're actually doing this Indian motorcycle giveaway, and it's a Tennessee Hills branded, logoed, looks absolutely badass motorcycle. And what's it going to benefit?
Camp Friendship.
Camp Friendship, which is here on the Holston, and it's just a great opportunity to get back into the community there. And when are we going to do that reveal?
On
Black Friday.
Black Friday. I was getting our 1-year anniversary party on Black Friday.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the date.
Yeah. But, getting back to that. So we actually have our 1-year anniversary party coming up here on November 27th.
22nd.
22nd, I stand corrected, guys. November 22nd. So that is not this Saturday, but...
It is the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
2 days from now.
Oh, yeah, it'll be, But by the time you guys hear this, it's actually going to be 2 days away from this podcast. So, yeah, welcome to having a podcast, baby. It's not as easy as Joe Rogan makes it look, right? But, Jessica, give us a little bit of some of the things that we're going to be doing for our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, so free tours all day long. So if you haven't got a chance to come tour this place, this is your perfect opportunity. Free all day. No need to book it. Just show up and we'll get you taken care of. We have lots of good discounts and
Drink specials.
for
My
sure.
favorite.
We have 8 core beers and they will all be half off. And then
I
we're
mean,
also doing.
who don't like half off beers?
Yeah, I know, right?
You know,
And we're also doing. We'll have full racks of ribs for $20 while
Wait,
supplies last.
How many square inches is a full rack of ribs? I'm asking for a friend. Does anybody know? Take a wild guess. If you think you might know the answer, subscribe and leave us a comment in the comment lines there. One more thing is the thing that I'm probably most excited about coming up later December, right before Christmas. We're having a 3-day Christmas market. What's the dates on that, baby?
18th through the 20th.
18th through the 20th. We're going to do a tree lighting ceremony.
Yes.
And are we gonna tell everybody about this right now?
Might as well.
We have a snow machine, like a big snow machine. You guys bring your snowboards. We're gonna have a great time. And Santa Claus is coming out too. Everybody knows that guy with the big cherry red face.
Yep, Friday and Saturday.
And, everybody says, why is his face so cherry red? Well, he's been drinking bourbon, obviously. But anyway, anyway. Guys, really appreciate you hanging on today. This is our first time out, and I'm very fortunate to be sharing the couch with my beautiful wife, Jessica. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being my guest.
Thank you.
And thank you all for listening. If you haven't already subscribed and follow, you'll have you'll have a chance to win some merch here in the near future. Like us on all of our, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, all the things, all the cast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast, just subscribe, link, follow, all those good things. Can't wait for you guys to be a part of our journey, and we're going to grow with you. So,
and if you want, you want us to talk about any specific topics, let us know.
Absolutely. So, one closing thought. Tell us what Responsibly Rowdy means to you. We love to hear your comments. If you want to write us, email us, call us, however you want to get a hold of us. Let us know what Responsibly Rowdy means to you. Whether it's, riding on top of a Hummer.
I don't suggest doing.
What was the other one?
Skiing behind your Jeep.
Oh, skiing behind my Jeep with nobody driving, going down a snowy mountain.
I mean,
definitely do not recommend
do that
that.
either.
Yeah, that was in my younger days, But yeah, look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey, and thank you all for the support and love that you have given us throughout the years. And can't wait to hear you or see you on the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.